Hello, friends. Welcome to Nirpa's Talk Show. This is your host, Nirpa Chetri, a technologist and entrepreneur enthusiast based out of Bengaluru. I arrange talk show with different personalities to share their experience and thoughts with you. Today, I have a special guest, Mr. Ashish Datta. He is a COO and CFO of Congruent Infotech. He has almost 3 decades of industry experience, both in IT and non-IT sector. I am very glad that he has accepted my invitations and ready to share his experience with you. Hello, Alice. Ashish, welcome to Nirpa's Talk Show.
Hello, Nipa. So nice for you. Thank you very much for having me on your show. I'm pretty excited to be here and a little tense also. Hope you'll ask me some easy questions.
Definitely, don't worry. Yeah, we will make it very conversational, and the experience that you have, right, in terms of
Yeah,
professional wise, in terms of leadership wise, I would love to speak from your heart and
sure.
inspire,
Yeah,
educate our youngsters to become a good, successful leader in the society.
yeah. I will try
Because
my
I
best. Yeah,
believe everything rises and falls in leaderships, said Dr. John Maxwell. So, with this note, uh, Dr. Ashish, without making further delay, let me ask you the basic one, right? Leadership has a very pivotal role in the society. Either it is government or in politics or its industry and corporate environment. But however, it is very difficult to become a successful leader. So what is this all about in the leadership, and why it is so crucial, the leadership that role that we are talking about? I would love to hear from you.
yeah. Thank you, Nipa. And I'm very happy you have picked up Dr. John Maxwell quote, everything rises and falls on leadership. That's also something I live by, I believe in. Thank you very much for that. What is leadership? If you really look at it, leadership, why is it so? Everything is leadership in life. It's not about a corporate and somebody. Everything is about leadership in life. Without leadership, can you get a direction in life? You cannot. L- Forget even leading a team of people. You as the individual. If you have to move forward in life, you have to form your own strategy. You have to form a direction. You have to move towards that. So leadership, why is it important everywhere? Because we are all leaders. We drive ourselves forward. And that's why I strongly believe leadership is all about leading yourself. It is not leading teams. If you can lead yourself well, I'm sure you can lead anybody. But the key is, can you lead yourself? If a person cannot lead oneself, how do you expect that person to lead a group of team members? I think that's what to me is leadership. It is self-leadership. That's the word I would say is, if you're asking one word to term, it is self-leadership, leading yourself. That's all leadership is all about.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. It was well elaborated. If a person cannot manage himself or cannot lead himself in the right directions, there is no way that he can lead
Absolutely.
other people in the society. I think this is the key takeaway from this short, insightful that you are talking given to us. I think let's move to the next set of questions. Uh, Basically, any young professionals, right? Of course, they start from the very initial as a junior uh, developer in case of IT, a junior marketing executive in case of uh, other non-IT fields, and so on. But at the end of the day, both organizations and the individual, the employee himself, wanted to be wanted to grow in their career path, which will be beneficial for both the society, both the organization, both the individual itself. Now, from your uh, point of view, what should be the pathway for any young professionals to become a successful leader?
Yeah. I think there are basically, if I have to group it, there are four key pathways, like you have a pathway. The very first part in that, you have to first lead yourself. That's the very first, that you lead yourself. How do you lead yourself? Continuously keep working to improve yourself. Work on your goal setting, work on your SWOT. How can I improve? You have individual goals. Improve yourself as a person, as an individual, keep enriching and growing. That's what I call self-leadership, which is a combination of self-awareness. You have to be aware. Control your emotions. See, emotion and bias is dangerous, if you see. We are so biased, we are so prejudiced. And then continuously keep enriching through your learning in whichever way you want. So I am a person who is reaching my maximum potential and I'm trying to remove the blockage. That's the very first stage of life. And that a youngster should start at a young age. Don't wait for becoming for my campus interview to prepare, right? You start before. You can apply all this in your life, as I would say, including exam. That's the very first step. Once you have done that as a leader, now say you have gone into the industry, what is your first job? The population is growing, correct? Population is growing. There are lakhs and lakhs of people. How does the management know who is a leader? There are so many competitors, correct? So the next part is make your presence felt that here, oh, here is a potential leader. Otherwise, how will the organization, there will be hundreds of people today, right? In the organization, everywhere. How will you identify? You have to make your presence felt. So first block, I would say, self-leadership. Second is make your presence felt. Okay, here we have somebody who has the potential to rise as a leader. How do you do that? I call it in three, there are three ways in which you can do, to me, primarily from my experience. First is become a trustworthy individual. Without trust, nothing works. People must believe you, must trust you. Do everything possible to become a trustworthy individual, which can be your credibility, becoming reliable to people, honoring your commitments. People can share your problem, maintain confidentiality, try to help others. There are so many things. Become a team player. There's a lot of things on trust. I can go on and on if you have the time. That's the key part of that block of knowing that presence. That's the first one. The second one is build strong work ethics. Sometimes I have problems today, unfortunately, to say this with young people. It can be as simple as you dress, as simple as filling up a leave application or informing that I'm going on leave or forgetting to leave, as simple. These are very simple things. I remember my boss. I have a great boss. Many years back, he returned one Excel sheet to me and said the headers are not frozen, headers, because it's a long, he's going down. He just returned it. I can't see the sheet. I was pissed off. What is he saying? Just a header? I've been giving some information. But later realized it is not the header. It's the discipline, the presentation to you. Strong work ethics is very necessary. How you respect people, and respect is not good morning, good hello business. It is more than that. Giving people their space, handling your time, strong work ethics. That's the second part. Third is become a great communicator. And for communicator, I'm not talking of English grammar, by the way, right? That's a different subject. Even I don't know about grammar. Nobody knows, leave it aside for the Nobel laureates and literature. I'm talking of simple communication, which is understandable to other people. And for that, I strongly believe that we should follow the 3 wives and 1 husband policy. That's my policy. Why are you communicating? What are you communicating? To whom are you communicating? And then how are you communicating? If you know that, if you can, it's a big philosophy actually. I can talk about that. There's a pyramid principle, how you communicate. And it's not about English at all. How you communicate, how you get your point across, how you put the facts in place. So if you can become that kind of a great communicator, you have strong work ethics, you're trustworthy, you are bound to be noticed as, yeah, here we have a potential. Now, when you introduce somebody as a potential, what happens after that? When the company says that here's a potential, they will invest time on you. That's very important. And that's where you learn the different skills. You learn decision making. You learn about problem solving. The company is investing on you. You learn more about leadership, communication. You learn about negotiations. You learn about conflict management. That's the key, right? Everything is a problem. So the company invests, you learn. Then the third stage, yeah, is a potential. Company is interested to do. First, but you must do that to be made. You have to show yourself. I am a prompt guy available to you. Company will invest. You'll also do. Third stage is learn the skills. And in the fourth stage is where you start leading people. Now we have a notion about leading people, we have to lead. People is all. I don't believe in it. People is important, but 2-3 other things are important. First thing is that you must set the right process. You must believe in the company culture. You must understand what is the company vision and all. That's leadership. Because unless you do that, how will you drive people? That's very important. In a family, 8 o'clock dinner time, everybody. It's a simple rule, right? But if you had no time, 12 o'clock, somebody is coming. If the daughter comes after 11 o'clock, everybody is awake in the house. So you need rules and regulations, you need processes, you need the culture. Okay, what does the organization stand for? What are the core values? You have to first derive that and understand, and then try to do. That's the first stage of leading people. Second is, you have to get results. Whatever you do, ultimately you have to drive to results. We cannot lose sight because, oh, the people are putting effort. No, it has to be result-oriented leadership. And the third is, of course, lead people. Do good hiring, enrich people, give them proper training, expectation setting, manage, guide, maintain them, mentor them, and make them better individuals. So this is what I call leading people. So there are 4 blocks: self-leadership, making your presence felt, learning the necessary skills, and leading people. These are the 4 blocks. If you can follow it, I think we are good.
Yeah, I think well explained. Our audience has got your meaningful directions as far as leadership pathway is concerned. Definitely, as you said rightly, right? These are the 4 components, right? The self-disciplined, skills, communicators. I think this applies across industry space, across the different roles and responsibilities.
Anywhere in life,
yeah.
not even life, family, everywhere. Just think about it. It's all about that ultimately. True. Right? True. What is a family? What is a marriage? To me, family is the first highest organization.
Yeah.
What does that? Think about our parents. What they do? They don't come first. The team comes first. They are very strict. They are disciplined because their whole intention ultimately is to develop the children. Exactly. They sacrifice a lot, but they're strict also. They are disciplined also. Just put that in what I said in terms of leading. It is the same. So leadership is everywhere. Organization is the best form of leadership. You have to build relationship, right, with your children, even with the husband, wife. You need relationship. A lot of people have pets. You have to build this thing. And what even today, you have domestic help coming, right? You have to ensure that they come to you every day. It's such a big problem. Don't you have to build relationship with them? True. Which better organization can you get? It starts from there and everywhere, I would say.
Yeah, Ashish, understood. It's very well research point that you have mentioned here. But however, I have one point to add here. See, in spite of knowing partly some of the things and partly we are not aware, but at the end of the day, we as individuals all are driven by community, the environments, the friend circles, which motivate us, which makes us engage in that kind of journey what he or she is looking for. But if it's not right associated with right set of community, probably despite he knows the pathway, there are some challenges. Do you agree on that?
Absolutely. It's a very relevant, very good question. एक हाथ से कभी ताली बजता है क्या? बजता नहीं है. You need 2 हाथ. सिंपल बात है ये. वर्चुअली हम लोग ऐसे ऐसे करते हैं, उसका कोई मजा नहीं है. आपको साथ में करने का है. You need 2 sides. Let us say in an organization. Let's talk about the organization. You are that person, as I was explaining. But the organization and other people are not like that. You cannot succeed. The environment. That's where the culture plays a very important role. The management of the culture plays a big important role. In our organization, I always talk of 7 core values, which I talk about even in the orientation. I take orientation even with the junior-most people. So to understand the importance of what we expect, what's our culture. Unless you have, for example, you have problems, you have issues, conflicts. Conflicts are everywhere, right? You can't avoid it. It's a part and parcel. You have to resolve conflicts. Now you are a very proactive, open guy, but the other person is not like that. Or even if the other person is, the company culture is not like that. company culture plays an important. There's a lot of backbiting, a lot of politics. They don't listen to each other, and all that goes on. Then the environment is, you cannot do anything about it. But I come back to the question: who does this? We normally say the culture should, but the company should be good. So my point is, who builds culture? It
True.
starts with the shareholder. It starts with the management and successive leadership. We are the people who have to build that culture. It is not an easy thing. It takes time. An organization progresses over years and years. And at the end also, that's a difficulty. Because every day new people are joining. So every leader must work towards building that culture and environment. Otherwise, it will be a complete failure. It's a constant exercise. New people are joining today, but you cannot lose sight. And that's where the orientation is so important. You have to keep pushing. You have to do this, you have to do this. So it becomes the culture. And the other thing that I talk about is, why do you put on a mask? You tell me. बाहर जाते हैं हम लोग, क्यों मास्क पहने? Why do you wear a mask? किस लिए?
Yeah, because of the rules are there, but on top of that rules, the
rules are there, but the rules are formed because somebody might get affected by me.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yeah.
The other could be that you are getting affected by somebody. ऐसा भी कभी कोई sneeze करता है, but somebody has a viral fever, also the same. थोड़ा दूर रहो, you stay a little away because it's contagious.
Correct.
How do you motivate? You ask that question. Can I motivate you to do anything? I cannot motivate you. But then I can unmask myself. I be that leader. I should spread that. Same way the other person is, you have to unmask and make yourself contagious. That's the only way you can motivate. People see you. You are doing it. Others, okay, I have to do it. You have to show the way. And then with successive leadership, all have started doing it. Then only it becomes a movement. You can do it. All leaders have to contribute to that environment, culture, and everybody is trying to do that. Then only you'll be successful. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Even if you could try your best, you wouldn't be able to do it. That's where the leadership word is not one senior guy or a director. It's all the mass. Everybody is a leader. It should be a mass movement. And if the company cannot sustain that, I don't think individually, if you are good, will help at all.
Exactly. I think that movement part that you mentioned about,
Yeah.
right, that applies very much, because in our team, we have seen the 1 or 2 guys who are not working. But then when everybody started working, projects are in a very execution phase, and there is no options, they also started contributing something, right? It is not because some management given him the pressure. It is because of the whole people are working, and the environment that has been created. I think that has made the influence to them.
Absolutely.
So as you said sometime in the earlier discussion, right? It is I think I've seen some of other conversation you have, that the team evolves, and the leadership has to have that clarity how the team can be evolved in the right directions.
Absolutely.
So that they can give a result which organization is looking for.
Yeah. Well, that's a very important point about team evolution, because you may be a great guy, you have to go through that evolution. You have to. So mental awareness, and you're expecting your mindset, okay, this is going to happen. There will be a phase of storming. People will fight. Now, how do you come about it? If the leader is aware, you form your strategy. That's what is necessary. You have to evolve the team across. You have to build those kind of work on relationship building, on what is it. And once you do that, you pass that on to the team, and the team then passes on to everybody. It becomes a movement. Only then the organization will be successful. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to really talk of. There will be a lot of issues. It has to be a movement. Like you said, there are 2 people not working. It has to be something where the leader takes the responsibility. Why these 2 are not working? How we can help them? Create a culture of team work, not upmanship. One will say, I have done the work, and go directly to the manager. Another person will go to the other door and go to the manager, right? That's what happens. So is the manager entertaining that, or saying, no, go back, let's come together and sort this out? That is a big thing, right? Manager will listen to everything. That's a big problem today in industry. You go this room, no, this guy is not listening to me. They're not listening. So my point is, why are they not listening to you? Have you analyzed that?
Exactly.
Sit with the facts. People say you're not productive. You're not taking ownership of your work. Normally I hear, oh, the guy is not ownership of the work. But that guy is saying, whatever work you're giving, I'm doing it. So these are the kind of what we call them the dysfunctional conflicts. If you have a dispute over a quality issue, I can solve. But this kind of mindset, oh, that person is not giving you, I am working 12 hours, that person is working 8 hours. What do you do? That's an important point. We have to sit together and understand. It comes to building maturity in individuals to understand, okay, no, let's understand each other. Why is he saying it? Which are the instance, set the expectation right. So for all that, you need good self-leadership, which means a matured mind. And with that, the company movement and culture, then only you can solve all these issues. Otherwise, it's really difficult.
Yeah, true. I completely agree on that. The culture play very crucial role. I
Absolutely.
mean, and building that culture is one of the great challenges in 21st century's leadership, I believe.
Yeah.
So next point, right? Which I came across as a young leaders in my industry, right? Lot of time, as you also quoted in somewhere, right? Uh, the employee or the people who work under us sometimes want to jump, right? They don't follow the path. Sometimes they don't listen, and we are not able to control. Of course, there are scenarios where probably they are looking for more vision, more direction, more overall knowledge and experience. And in such a high, fastest growing industry, probably that kind of very structured organizations hierarchy may not be possible sometimes, right? Because organization
Yeah.
has also some
True.
pressure to move some of the employee into leadership role and make the transformation journey better. So in under that circumstance, I feel sometimes inspired on top of the knowledge and experience or skills, whatever you say, but you need some governance power. You need some control mechanisms. And what are those control mechanisms? I would love to hear from you, Mr. Assis.
I would say the typically what I would say in this is give them the space to perform. Don't have that controlling attitude. And but if something goes wrong, you should be able to pick back. I think that gives them a lot of responsibility and empowerment. Don't be controlling to everything. When you drive a car, it is not a problem if you're driving at top speed. But when you have to control that, if you can do it, that's good enough. I mean, it doesn't really matter in that way because you have full control over the situation. The problem happens that we don't give that kind of a control and freedom at the beginning. Look at what is happening today in the pandemic. We have people working from different places, different this. What are they do? What do you expect now? You expect them to work on their own, take their own decisions, because it is not like in office you can turn around and see some people. Not like that. You have to do so. You have to make them important to feel that you take your decisions, you do your work. If you fail, don't worry. I'm there to help you. Give them the right training input, but empower them to take decisions. If you control everything, give me updates every minute or every end of the day, come and show me what documentation you have done, you do it, it is not going to work. Then that people also feels control and gets in that culture. Give them space to perform. Give them the necessary tools of guidance, tools, and say you perform. If there's an issue, I'm always available, but don't let the things go out of hand that you cannot control. So how
Exactly.
to build that mechanism with the leader and the teammate is very important.
Yeah,
That's when the leadership becomes a challenge because we want to be always there, what is going on. Otherwise, like now, I'm sitting working from home for the last 1.5 years. So many people are working from home, my 200 people. I don't know who is doing what. I'm feeling what to do, but what will I do? I can't do anything. I have to exercise that point, but they are performing. We're still doing well, I would say, touch wood. How did they do? Because they understood their responsibility. They're able to do that. If we can give that kind of a space and don't control them, leave it to them for some time, but don't let it totally loose. I think that's the kind of environment that the leader must create. It will be good.
yeah, I got your point. I think what essentially you are saying about give a freedom, give the opportunity to experiment, put their hard work and effort and let him grow, right? But at the same time, there should be some control uh, mechanisms which enable you to put some directions and guidance if something goes wrong. But I essentially wanted to hear, Ashish, in your experience in this almost 3 decades of industry. I mean, this kind of situation you have faced, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, right? Somebody want to jump and somebody want to bypass you and you lost. And then in that situation, of course, your supervisor will play some role. I can understand. But then still, I want to hear your personal view. Like, how did you manage it in this kind of situations?
I would say there are two phases of my life. I think I had a very protected childhood. Touch wood, my parents took care of us. We never had money problems, protecting us. He only decided what I will do for graduation. He only decided that I should do CA. So it was well protected. He used to always think of us. The problem for me started when I joined the industry. I had no clue where I had landed. I had absolutely no clue. I had no skills. I am a chartered accountant. So like, I am a chartered accountant. I know everything.
But reality is not like that.
Reality is not like that. And you know what happened in the first year?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was given, my first industry job was in Ahmedabad. For a brief period, I was there. And then it was branch account. So we had 2-3 assistants. So I did a simple seating arrangement change. Simple, 2-3 people, you go here, you go here. One day full, the work stopped. So we won't change. Seriously. Seriously. I was, come on.
Mindset, yeah. Yeah.
Not only that, the union got involved. Then the management had to be involved. I did not know how to handle that situation. That's one situation I have faced. And then as I go forward, when I joined other organizations, the problem was, I have joined the organization, you're a new person, but people below me are used to that person over me because he has been there for longer. They have normally it happens, you grow up together than one person, but you have that mental connect. And I am there in the middle, I'm joined new. What you said was happening. Now, as a leader, what should my boss do? He has a challenging act. He cannot say, go only to Ashish, don't come to me. Correct? That's also not bad. He also cannot hear them. He has had a 20-year experience with them. I am a chunnu munnu, just a kal. I had a lot of that. And initially I could not handle. I had difficulty in handling. My boss also had difficulty. He did try it. But then again, leadership also evolves with time. This was in the early 90s. I had a lot of difficulty, a real difficulty. I could not communicate well. I had a problem in communicating. Another incident where I denied salary advance to a person because that guy already taken one advance. He was being taken. I was get out by the union. I was get out and they come with a union book, say we can take 2. I said, that guy is a genuine defaulter. You also know what he does with the money, right? The workers, and because I was in a factory. But I had no clue. What will I do? In those cases, what was happening is my boss had to come in to solve the problem. So my image also went down. We can't do anything. I suffered all that. So the question here is, can I blame my boss or can I blame the people? I cannot blame anybody. That's where I have to build my strategy on how I should work, because I cannot expect others to change. All of us face this in industry because we come with an education background. We don't know the tricks and trades of how leadership were. That's a big point. Nothing is there. I just know debit credit. That's how I have come in as a chartered accountant. I had a lot of difficulty and I had to blame myself because I didn't know how to handle. Even when senior members were questioning me why this has happened, my answer is to be keep quiet because I was scared. Then my boss has to come in for me. So whom will I blame? You have to only blame yourself and be unfortunate. Today we are more aware of what we have to do. And this is very normal. Human relationship, we are all human beings. People below will have connect to the guy to talk about. It's for you to make yourself trustworthy to them. No, there is a person. There is a person who is there to help us. We can go through him. Why we need to go to him? You have to create that situation. And in our early stages, we don't know. So unless the leadership movement has been going on for some time, it is very difficult to fit in. So I really don't have an answer to say how I handle it. I could not. I was stressed actually at the beginning years of my career. But one thing about me is, I always say is that your life experience is always taking you forward. It doesn't take you backwards. You have to survive. I had to survive.
Yeah.
And then I started working on different areas on how to handle. I started reading books and tried to establish myself. Today, I have left that organization almost 25 years. I've left that organization. They are still in touch with me. Whenever
Yeah.
I come, they want to talk to me. We become very friends because I helped them. They helped them. I built that. But that was not the case that time. And for that, I can't be my boss and all. I only have to be unfortunate to say it is only my learning time. And our system doesn't teach you all that. I think it's
No,
a
but
genuine problem that everybody faces, I would say.
yeah, thank you for illustrating with your real-time
Unless
stories.
there's a movement today in my organization, I can say uh, that in the last 20, 25 years, starting with the CEO, we have started that movement. We have reached somewhere, we have not gone. So today, if somebody joins, there's a less chance he will face that situation.
True. Because the information, knowledge, and collaboration that is happening around, that is the
Not
kind of
only
a
that,
great
you
resource.
cannot deny the human connection. So if somebody below you is going to your boss because they have a good connect human being wise, I think you have to just respect that. You just can't say that, or they're going with the mentality to bypass and screw upmanship. That's a different issue. That also happens. That also happens because everybody is competing against each other. Even for that, it is for you. Okay, that's where the working style becomes very important. Understanding people, versatility, and oh, this guy is like this, is it? Form your own strategy. How will I address that? You have to address it. Don't blame anybody. Blame yourself. Found your own strategy. That's why you need to know the skills. What are the leadership styles of people? That's where the storming stage, you understand the character of each people. And then each one you have to handle it separately. You can't have one way. You have to form your strategy. Okay, everybody is like human being. They will do. How will I control this guy? Think about it. I say we should blame ourselves. We have to get trained. Today, there's a lot of information on that. There's no point telling our bosses like this as a junior. It's you. You have to handle it yourself. I think that's the advice I can give. And there is a forming and norming stage, right? Forming, norming, you will go through it. Let's face it. So be mentally prepared as there'll be a turmoil period. So that's how I would say it.
Yeah, got your point. At the end of the day, we have to manage all the parties, all the stakeholders, and move forward. Right? We cannot.
Self-leadership, that's my word. If you can lead yourself, you can do anything in the world. If you cannot lead yourself, but you expect others to do, it won't happen. If
No,
you're
but
good in self-leadership.
yeah, but self-leadership when you talk about, right? I also I may not understand the in-depth meaning. Of course, as you earlier said, that the managing ourselves in all aspects.
Right.
But when you talk about that people relationships, I think the emotional intelligence play a very significant role than overall your general intelligence and the skills that is required in organizations.
So what do you mean by emotional intelligence? First, we have to understand what is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, each other understand themselves. What is the issue? What is
Exactly.
the problem? Correct. That you have to start understanding people. That's to it. I don't think it is, you say, one of the important, it is the most important. You have to understand people. Let's say Nipa and Ashish are working together. I don't know you, you don't know me, correct? So when we start working each other, we'll closely understand each other's working style, how we are, what we can do, how we can collaborate, how we need to work. That is all there to, that's how you build trust and relationship, and that's all to it. So I would say that is the most important one, to build your emotional intelligence with people, how to do it. But again, you do your best to build with that person. But is that other person also doing with you? Is the company pushing you? No, you have to build a real, that's where the movement comes in. If the movement, it's a combination fact. And emotion, I agree. You have to build that. It's more of being empowered and being told, okay, this is what you need to do. And it will be a movement. Everybody telling you, he's also seeing everybody is doing like this. They also start doing like this. Otherwise, it's very difficult. But I think that's the key, emotional intelligence. It is the most important one. If I know what Nipa is and how he works, and if Nipa knows what Ashish works, it's all good. That's what we need. We don't need to agree or disagree. That's a different issue, but we understand each other. Ashish is driving. He prefers to get only reports. He doesn't want to go detail. Whereas Nipa likes to get into details. Okay, so that's how we work. We'll work together in that way. Emotional intelligence is to understand each other, not to sympathize with each other, as we correctly know. And working, what is working style? how you build a trust. It is all emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence, you read up books, you start doing it, you have to practice it. And that's where the movement of leadership, encouraging what they're seeing all around, is what you need.
Yeah, true. I think understanding the other people with empathy, with kindness, and have a holistic mindset to understand overall society, right? And be genuine interest to other people to solve their problem. I think that is all about emotional intelligence.
Absolutely. But
Yeah,
one word which I would like to clarify is the word you use, like kindness.
exactly.
What you mean by kindness is very important. Look at your parents who are the lead head of the organization.
Yeah.
What is kindness? You have to be tough when necessary.
Yeah.
You don't have to do so. The kindness means you want the best for that person. To me, that's the definition of kindness. We have to be very careful. Oh, that person has too much of work, we should spare him. That's not kindness to me. Yeah, it is a requirement of the company. They have to understand, they have to do it. I will do that. And then if they do that work, let him on. He will also learn how to manage his time effectively. To me, that's kindness. So I always try to define the word kindness, because it is compassion, and kindness is for the growth of that person, not as how you feel as a human being. That is very important.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting. Yeah, that is true. We need to be tough whenever possible,
Right.
and we need to be soft whenever required, right? So having discuss on this detail, I have like to share the real challenges today among the youngsters, which I have been witnessing since last few years in corporate industry. Today, individual wise, youngsters are very intelligent, either digitally learned, or it is the overall awareness in terms of informations, uh, in terms of knowledge and the different technical resources available, and they are good as far as individual contribution is wise. But at the end of the day, project cannot be delivered, or bigger theme cannot be delivered by individuals, because it require a complementary skills. And how we can make these youngsters to work collaboratively to achieve that bigger goal that any organizations have? What is your personal view?
So when you say you get what you get, you don't choose your team, correct? Let's be very practical about it.
Exactly.
I like this person, you won't get it. An ideal team of this, you have to do with what you have. So the first is an assessment of what I have, because that is not always dependent on you. This is what I have. The next set, make the expectations clear. Okay, what are my success objectives? What do you want to achieve in that project? What are the goals of this project? What are the ground rules in which we have to work? Fix those kind of rules, regulations, what you call the ground rules, the expectation, what we expect from each other. Then provide the necessary tools for that person to work, try to guide them, and sometimes at the initial stages, you need very close monitoring of people at the initial stage of the project. How do you handle client expectations? If those things are pretty clear at the beginning, you will be able to handle it. But as an individual, I again say, it has to be a movement of people. The leader has to start with it. If the leader cannot do it as your team lead, what you say, she cannot do it, you can't expect the others to do. But I would start a new project first with what I get. Expect problems, then you have to go to the team evolution. And when you go to the team evolution, each has steps. Set the right expectation of people. Then try to see who is what. Make course corrections. Try to work on that part. Then only I think you can work together. If this process is not done, it is very difficult to handle a project. And even if you look at it, it's true in any case, right? Even in your marriage, you have the honeymoon period, then you have the problems. How will you solve the problem unless you understand each other? And when you have a new project, client is also very excited, who and all goes on. And then when they get the requirements, users are not cooperating, or you're not getting the what kind of quality you're giving. It's very natural to happen. How you manage those expectations, be aware to problem, that's where leadership plays a role. If that is not in place, it's extremely, you have to have very close monitoring at the beginning to put that in place, and be aware of the fact what goes through the forming, norming, and that stage, and what is to be done. That's very necessary. If you just dump people, you do what you want, it doesn't work.
Exactly. I completely agree on that, Ashish. True. Let's work what we have and then do the course correction, continuous evolutions, continuous learning and improving process will definitely reach to the level that either organizations or leaders are looking for.
This is a common thing.
Very true.
Yes, yesterday also I had a long meeting with a new project. I want this member, I want 3 more people, I'm having shortage of resources, they're saying to me. Okay, you started the project 1 month back. Did you tell me you need 3 people? What kind of planning you did? Now I need 3 people are shorter. What will I do? I'm not a magician. I can't bring from outside and give you, right? Did you plan properly? Did you have an understanding that if some work takes 10 hours, in practically it will take 30 hours because there are so many uncertainties. Did you
Exactly.
plan properly? Did you understand who are the people? Now I think that person is not performing. It's a leadership issue. It's a leadership failure issue. Which you handle. Ultimately, everything rises and falls on leadership. You have to handle a leadership issue. As an individual, you can't do anything. And leadership is a movement to me. I have this problem. I said, I can't do magic. You didn't tell me 1 month back you had this. Now you are saying, what were you doing then? You should have worked this out. You should have opened your eye, or there will be problems. How do I do it? So it all comes down to setting the right expectation, better planning. And if the leadership is not able to do that, yeah, everything will fall on leadership, rise with leadership.
Sure. Probably we are moving towards the closure of this session. This maybe the last questions, right? So what are the challenges that you have? I mean, either I will say you anticipate for young leaders who is at their early stage of leadership. What are the challenges they face and how they have to overcome it?
Yeah. The very first challenge we have to work on is communication.
True.
Very, very important. Whatever you do, you're communicating, you're talking, speaking. Everything depends on communication.
Yeah.
You have to be very clear.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, today, our education system is such that it is a fact that we have to do English. There's no other way. Say if English is a medium, like our medium is English. It is not about the grammar part. It is how you communicate, how you talk. Be aware that communication is the key. I tell people, you may be highly educated, but if you don't know how to communicate, consider yourself a complete failure. That's the first thing. People don't understand that when they come into the industry. Very few could do, but you have to understand the communication challenges. I suffered a lot. In Kolkata, maybe the environment was such, I did go to a convent school, but at home you'll speak Bengali. Even when you go to office, people are all Bengalis. You speak in Bengali. People, language is not the issue. When people used to ask me something, I could not answer properly. In cases where I was right, they were wrong, I could not defend myself. What happens? If you do it to the senior leadership, oh, this guy cannot even speak, cannot open their mouth. I remember there was a leadership development program, a management program in Bombay. And my boss called me and said, look, there's a management program. It will be good program for you, but I'm hesitating to send you. I said, why? He was a Tamilian, he was a South Indian, but a Bengali, could write poems and all, settled in Bengal. So why are you saying like this? I mean, why? See, you don't talk at all. You don't communicate. Now, a lot of leaders come, senior management come to those sessions to identify potential leaders. And I will cut a sorry figure because of you, because you can't talk. Imagine what was going on in my mind that time. Absolute humiliation. Could I have blamed him that you did not teach me communication? No, I have to do it myself. From that day onwards, I've been working a lot on my communication because I know that is the key, and that's the message I pass on. Education is fine, everybody will be good, but you must learn communication. One thing. Second thing, today there's a lot of information available on the internet, a lot of schools. Be aware what you, like I said, the 4 stages, and prepare yourself accordingly. More awareness of what you need to do. That is the second. And third, expect disasters at the beginning and problems. Be clear. Have the team evolution in place. Team evolution is not just for teams, even for a people's evolution, a marriage evolution. You go through that process. You're very excited when you join the company. After 1 month, where did I join? because there will be problems. You have to understand people. So I would say communication, be aware of the process, and be aware of the evolution process and what you need to do. This is your starting point. And then accordingly, you prepare yourself. If you don't know, you think you got education, it will not work. That would be my 3 key points to people.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. Communications and be aware about yours overall strategy, and of course aware about the pupils, understand the challenges that is down in the reality are the some of the key takeaways that you are advising for young leaderships. I think it is one of the most insightful discussions that we have, Ashish, as far as leadership journey is concerned. I'm very glad that you have given us time, and I'm very sure our audience will definitely have a lot of takeaways from these conversations, and something will be contributing to build a society where there are a lot of leadership will evolve.
Yeah, thank you. I should thank you. Very kind of you to have me on your show. And I hope I have been able to address some of the points and the questions and the challenges that you face. And the leaders, emerging leaders, would find this useful. Thank you again so very much.
Thank
I'm
you,
really
Ashish.
humbled. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.